Hey, it is your favorite remote work enthusiast, Delilah. Today, I'm talking all about online tutoring companies, and we're going to discuss some of the more popular top online tutoring companies. We're going to learn the ins and outs and the pay and all those great details so that you can have the information that you need in order to move forward with these companies. Or maybe you might decide that it's not for you. And then I can also provide my 2 cents on being an online tutor because that's actually what I did for over 2 years. It was my very first remote job and I absolutely loved it. So I know a little something about being an online tutor and I can add to the conversation while we go over these companies. And I put them in a little chart basically for us to have as a reference in case we just want to be able to see who's doing what and offers what. I personally find that a little bit easier. So that's what we're going to jump over to right now. But before we do, if you haven't already, now is the time to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and make sure you tap the notification bell so you can be alerted as soon as I post. I'm always posting work from home hot leads for companies that are hiring, and I also post work from home info just like this video that I'm almost certain you are going to love. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. We are looking at my HandyDandy visual aid, and these are 8 online tutoring companies. Now, these are not the only 8. There are more online tutoring companies, but these 8 made it into this video because they are reputable. They have a lot of information on their website, and they have a lot of info on their Glassdoor. So after watching this video, which is just giving you the high level so that you know what each company is working with and whether or not you are interested in learning more, I highly recommend heading over to their Glassdoor and their website, but especially their Glassdoor because you can read the reviews from former and current employees, and then you can also look at the interviewing process. Like, they also put on there what the interview was like and just the pay info and any other info that they have on there. So all 8 of these companies had a really great Glassdoor presence, and that helped them make it onto this list. Now, just so we can understand what we're looking at, we've got the companies going down in this column, and then across the top in the bold colors, we've got the different categories. So we're going to talk about each company based on the category, and we will do that now. So starting off with pay, I'm going to lump pay and degree together because the pay is heavily based on whether you have a degree or not. And some of these companies will hire you if you don't have a degree. And then we can see that some do not hire you if you do not have a degree. So we'll talk about that right now. So starting off with iTutor. Now, this company had a huge pay range, and I could not put my finger on what was the average pay. I saw as low as $8, and then I saw as high as $24 per hour. So I'm really not sure what you can expect to make besides it's in that range, which is a very big range. But they do require you to have a degree. So hopefully they're paying on the higher end, especially if you have to have a degree. Now, Cambly does not require a degree, and they will pay you $10 per hour. And you don't have to have any experience. You can never have tutored before, don't have a degree, and Cambly is willing to hire you. The pay is going to be about $10 per hour. And then vipkid, they do require you to have a degree in some area. It doesn't have to be anything specific. And they're paying $20 to $22 per hour. And you can get bonuses here and there, so there's ways to earn more. Now, 51 Talk. This is another company that will hire you if you do not have a degree or experience. If you do not have a degree, with 51 Talk, you can make $16 per hour, and that's for the group classes. They also have one-on-one classes, but the pay is much lower. So you would want to do the group classes if you were interested in making that $16 per hour. Now, if you have your degree, then they will pay you $18 per hour. Your degree just needs to be in any area. English First, this company will pay you $12 to $18 per hour, and you do have to have a degree. Open English, you do not have to have a degree, and they will pay you somewhere between $12 and $15 per hour. Revolution Prep, they are going to start you off at $20 per hour, and you do have to have a degree. It can be in any area. And then Dada, this company requires you to have a degree, and they will pay you somewhere between $18 to $23 per hour to start off. Now, something else that I want to mention, all of these companies, with the exception of iTutor and Revolution Prep, are online English tutoring companies. iTutor and Revolution Prep offer test prep and academic prep, and iTutor does offer English tutoring as well. So these are the two companies, iTutor and Revolution Prep, that are not English teaching companies. All of these other companies, you are teaching English, and even iTutor offers English teaching. But Revolution Prep is solely like test prep and academic. Okay, so moving on to the next category, certifications. For a lot of English teaching opportunities, you may see that they mention something about like a second language teaching certification, teaching a foreign language certification. These companies all will gladly accept that certification. That will definitely boost you in their ranking of who's getting hired, but they don't require it. All except for Dada. They are the only company that requires a special certification for teaching second language. So that's the only company that requires that. Benefits. Okay, out of all of these companies, only Revolution Prep offers benefits. And I was actually surprised to see that, because I remember seeing more companies that offered benefits. Maybe I saw wrong, or I don't know if it's the gig economy and companies are moving towards contract work. I don't know what that's about, but Revolution Prep is the only one out of these companies that offers benefits. Now, the ones that don't offer benefits, they are contracting jobs. There are highs and lows with being a contractor, but part of being a 1099 contractor is, since you are not an employee, you don't necessarily have a set schedule, which is how you are able to make your own hours, because they can't tell you legally, like, you're going to show up at this time and you're going to clock out at that time. So with all of these companies, even with Revolution Prep, they have the flexibility of creating your own schedule. And of course, you can only do that during their operating hours, but that's really convenient. There are some benefits with being a contractor. You don't get the health and vision and all that type of benefit, but you do get the flexibility of making your own schedule, which is very nice. So these are all very flexible opportunities, and you get to make your own schedule. So that's the bright side, and I guess that would be a benefit. But true benefits, no, only Revolution Prep. And then lessons. Do they provide lessons? Yes, all of these companies do. Now, why is this really important? Because you're going to be teaching these kids. And lesson planning, if you've ever done that, it is a lot of work to make sure that you have lessons created, because you're going to be working with a lot of students, and that is time consuming. But thankfully, all of these companies provide pre-made lessons. So you're literally just plugging yourself in and you're just going through the lesson. If you're worried about not knowing what am I going to say, or how am I going to teach them, or, I don't know what to teach, they have that for you. So that is a very convenient thing that all of these companies offer.
Getting into a little bit of my 2 cents about being an online tutor, because that is actually how I started working from home. I loved being an online tutor. It was probably one of the only jobs that never got old to me. I really loved being an online tutor. And I was a little bit surprised because at first it was intimidating. I was doing test prep. It was really intense. There was a lot writing on it. These kids were high achievers. They wanted to go to top colleges, and they were depending on me being an effective tutor to help them get to that SAT and ACT score. My experience was kind of like high pressure, but even with that, I still really enjoyed it because it was just nice working with the students. Even though there were students who it got to be where I could kind of tell, like, okay, you're that student who doesn't, have confidence in their answer. I know how to help you. You're that student who's scared of the math section. I know how to help you. So like I was able to group students into categories after a while, but no student was exactly the same. And I think that's what made it really refreshing and fun every single day showing up to work, because it was always just something different. And they were really interesting. These students lived very interesting lives. They were paying a ton of money for tutoring. So they had a lot of privilege, and it was just really interesting learning about their desires of what they want for their career. And they were all in high school and middle school level for some of them. And I even had some as young as elementary. It was interesting, and it wasn't like I was working. Half the time I felt like I was just helping someone out. And then I realized, oh yeah, time went by, our session is almost over and work is almost over. That was my experience. I really did enjoy it, and it was something that I had a great experience with. I did it for quite a while, over 2 years, and the time really did fly by. And as far as flexibility goes, it is a very flexible job. My opportunity allowed me to travel. So I was going all over the place. I had my laptop, I had my materials, and they sent the materials to me. Most of these tutoring companies, something else to mention, most of these tutoring companies, if they send you anything, it would be like a background so that they can make sure that it's uniform among the tutors. And then they might send you something like a book for test prep. They sent me the SAT and ACT test prep booklets, the workbook for the company that the student would be working out of. And they also sent me a writing pad so that I could do the math and stuff on the screen. But as far as like computer and other setup, you're going to have to provide that. So in all of these opportunities, you're going to have to show up with your own computer. You're going to need to show up with your own work from home setup, but at most they might send you a background. And these companies didn't really mention that, whether or not that they would do that, but you just want to show up with your work from home setup, like your computer, and anything else you can run to Walmart and get. I think I had to run to Walmart and get a headset, a USB headset, and that was pretty much it. And at one point they actually sent me one. Not a lot of help with the equipment, but definitely very lucrative in most situations. Definitely easy to sort of plug in because they've got the lesson plans. It's just a great opportunity, in my opinion. So if you've been wondering about what it's like to be an online tutor, I can definitely talk more about that. I don't want to make this video extremely long, but I can make a video about my experience being an online tutor and how I sort of got up to speed, if that's something you all are interested in. But in general, I really, really enjoyed it. And out of all the jobs I've had, it was probably like my favorite job. That's my 2 cents on it. And this is the chart, and you can see at a glance what each company offers. So if you are interested in any of these companies, definitely check them out.
All right, there you have it. Those are just a handful of the online tutoring companies that are out there. I chose these companies because they are really popular. They're definitely reputable. They've got great websites and online presence, and especially their Glassdoor accounts. They all have a Glassdoor account and they have plenty of employee reviews and interview info and salary info. I wanted to choose these companies because you have their Glassdoor as a resource, get more information if you are interested in them. And then just a couple of other things to mention about being an online tutor. They start you off really well. Most of these companies pay close to like $20, if not right at that or a little more. And you also get compensated for your experience and your education. In my experience as an online tutor, every year I got a raise, and if I got a certification or furthered my education in a certain area, then I also was compensated for that too. So that's just something to keep in mind with the earning potential, which is really important to us because that's why we're working in the first place. Just from like a happiness, aspect, I really loved being an online tutor because it was probably the only job that I've ever had where I felt fulfilled. And like fulfilled in a sense, like every day I show up to work knowing like it's gonna be an interesting day or a fun day because you're teaching kids. And it was just always nice seeing that light bulb moment go off for them when they like got a concept. And it just felt really good, like, oh, I'm really helping. So that's another really great thing about being an online tutor that I absolutely loved, and it just made it fun. And it was just, even though we were working off of like lesson plans, it was always just a little bit different every single day because all the students were unique and all that good stuff. So I really enjoyed it. And if you are interested in being an online tutor, then chances are you're probably going to enjoy it too. But I also want to hear from you all in the comment section below. I want to hear about if you are interested in being a tutor, if you're currently a tutor, if you've got any tips you can add, whatever you wanted to talk about, in regard to being a tutor, let's get the discussion going in the comment section below. So hopefully this was helpful. Please like this video and share it on your social media. And thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.